Hi everyone, welcome to Sports Coverage with me, Rishi and Adi. Guys, India are touring Sri Lanka. The Zimbabwe series is done. This is the next international tour for India, and it's an interesting squad that has been announced for T20s at least. Actually, not the squad, but the choice of captain at least has made me very, very sort of intrigued by the selection. I think we were discussing as to who will be India's next T20 captain. We were talking about Hardik Pandya. We were talking about Bumrah. We were talking about Shreyas Iyer. But funnily enough, it's Suryakumar Yadav who's got the nod. Rishi, dude, like first off, like your reactions to that because it's very interesting. Shubman Gill, we thought might just be the next captain after he captained in Zimbabwe, but they've given it to Surya Kumar Yadav going into this tour. It raises a lot of questions. Mind you, Hardik Pandya is in the team. There's no Bumrah.
I mean,
T20s.
yeah, let's just. I mean, we know for sure that it came as a surprise for all of us, right? Because the last time we discussed, we didn't even consider Surya Kumar Yadav in the fray because, of course, he is going to be a definite starter, but we never thought of it from a captaincy perspective. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, look, it came as a huge surprise for all of us, and yeah, I mean, when I saw the squads, I was like, okay, this is quite interesting because there are captain contenders in the squad right here. Like you have your Hardik Pandyas, you have your Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill is, by the way, vice captain, and
Yeah.
you know, if we're going to push, then there is someone like if I were asked, I would rather say someone like Rishabh Pant would also be like ahead in say because he also
Yeah.
captains an IPL, and by the
Yeah.
looks of it, he's going to be a regular player as well. So I mean, you can say that with a certain amount of confidence that, of course, Gambhir will have a say in this. Gambhir would have planned, would have, foreseen a lot of things that maybe it's not visible to us. But I can't deny that it came as a huge surprise because if again you want to look at a long term, Surya Kumar Yadav is almost 33, or if I'm not wrong, he's almost 34. And then on the other hand, Hardik Pandya is still say 30 years old. So what is the plan? That is more,
Bro,
that
it's fascinating. I can't, like, to say the least. And Gambhir's worked with Surya, of course, at KKR, and he knows him from his time at KKR. Do you think that's got anything to do with their captaincy choice? Because before this, nobody really put Surya in contention to be captain for India.
Firstly, we're talking about T20. I think it
Yeah.
was more of a factor of Hardik not being the first choice than Surya being the first choice. I think it was more to the fact of Hardik again being very
Bro,
inconsistent.
they still have Pant and Gill, dude, in the squad. Like, they must have seen something.
See with Gill again, you see with Gill, the thing with Gill is, uh, if you're getting him as a captain right away, I think it's too early because there are already so many senior squad players, senior players who have more experience, who played international tournaments more, represented India more, played in different conditions also more than Gill for him to just come in and take in the spot, especially T20 when we saw Gill not even being in place in the T20 squad for the World Cup, right? So I don't think at least with T20 there was any major rush to push in Gill because there's still time for Gill to become maybe as a captain. We don't know how Gill can be as a leader, anyways. And I think in terms of Gambhir, he's worked with Surya Kumar Yadav before in Kolkata, right? So I think that played a major factor. But again, I think it was more about Hardik not being the right man, to captain India more than anything, because over the years you can't have a captain who's you want to give him the captaincy, but a guy who's been inconsistent for India over the years in terms of availability. Just simply cannot have a captain who gets injured or just pulls out from test squad and does anything he wants, over time, right? Because we've seen Hardik having his own issues with consistently playing, at least with white ball cricket, there are times where he drops. He's been injured a lot, very inconsistent in terms of that. I think that played a major factor. And I also, maybe from Gambhir's point of view, it was something like, I think with Gambhir, if he's working with Sky, I think there will be less friction and they can work
Mhm.
together better compared to having Hardik as a captain, because we've seen Hardik, what he's done with maybe Gujarat and Mumbai, right? It was very much like everything should run his way, or else he's not allowed for discussions. At least that's from my point of view. That's what it looked like, right? And there were
Yeah.
also a lot of rumors how Hardik wanted to play certain things in his own way, and he wanted it his way. And I think Hardik as a captain might have that, maybe not that flexibility which Gambhir as a coach wants, right? Because again, we have to, as we spoke about Gambhir before, he's a guy who's also going to put in a lot of his efforts and ideas, inputs into the cricket team, right? Generally, traditionally, we've seen Indian team majorly be impacted on how the captain wants to play. For example, you get in the dynamics of Hardik Pandya coming in. I think it could have been more of Hardik Pandya giving his own inputs, which could veto, Gambhir's own thought process. And I think that would have been a huge clash. And especially Gambhir coming into, the coaching role, I think Surya Kumar is going to be more flexible because it's his first time also becoming the full-time captain of any team in terms of
Yes.
IPL or the Indian team itself. So even with Surya Kumar Yadav, he's going to be more open to learn things, try to work with Gambhir, and that duo might turn out to be very good because we saw the same thing with KKR. The duo of again Shreyas Iyer with Gambhir. It was something like they worked together and not like everything was dependent on how Shreyas Iyer wanted the team to play, etc. It was more of a nuanced relationship where you have both the coach and your captains doing uh, a mixed role in terms of getting the right inputs and
Mhm.
decision making. So maybe that's the thought process.
Yeah, a couple more interesting calls. Of course, I think Kuldeep and Jaspreet been rested. But apart from that, there's no Ruturaj Gaikwad Rishi, which is, does that indicate to you that okay, this is the direction they're looking? They're looking at Gill, they're looking at Surya. I mean, looking at an opening partnership of Gill and Jaiswal for the near future.
I mean, even I'm fairly surprised that Rituraj didn't wasn't part of the squad entirely because he had quite a good tour against Zimbabwe, albeit it's against Zimbabwe, but he performed. And if we're going by merit basis, I don't see why his inclusion was omitted. And but yeah, this is pretty much a clear indication as to which direction the team, like the BCCI and the coaching staff, the basically the setup wants to go in. They're pretty much decided that okay, Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal, their right hand left hand combination is pretty much set, and you're gonna have one or two. I mean, it's maybe excluding one or two omissions. They want a relatively settled side. So
Yeah.
I'm fairly surprised that Gaikwad isn't part of the squad because he, like we mentioned earlier, he's also part of the leadership setup. He's an IPL captain, and I don't see any downsides of him being part of the squad, even if he doesn't get to immediately play or feature. I don't see any particular downside because at the end of the day, he is a good contributor. He is a in terms of runs, he's a good leader. That speaks for itself is him taking over CSK captaincy. So it is come as quite a big surprise, from that to both the formats. And I at least thought he'd make it at least for one of the formats, if not two.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, they've gone. The rest is like pretty, I think, straightforward. They've gone for Rinku Singh, Riyan Parag as a middle order batters, lower middle order batters. You've got Sanju Samson who can chip in, Hardik Pandya as their Shivam Dubey. Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar is the interesting one probably as your finger spinner, right arm finger spinner. But we'll see how much he gets to play. Ravi Bishnoi is your leggy. Arshdeep Khalil and Mohammad Siraj, I think again pretty straightforward. Without Bumrah, you're expecting Khalil to make the team and Siraj as well. So yeah, pretty straightforward. I think based on what we saw in the World Cup, both Khalil and Rinku travelled with the rest of the squad, so it's not surprising to see them there. ODIs, I think India have gone very strong. It's I thought they might probably choose to give a couple of youngsters an opportunity, but they've gone really strong. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, and it's like Virat Kohli and then Shreyas Iyer in the at 3 and 4. Then yeah, KL Rahul and probably Rishabh Pant at 6. Now this is what is interesting here for me. I think, do you see who is Shreyas Iyer a sure shot player here, Adi? Like, because you've got Rishabh Pant back. Now if Rishabh Pant is going to bat at say 4, where does Shreyas Iyer come in? Does he play or do they play 6? Yeah, 6 batters and then 5 bowlers. It's going to be interesting to see that as well.
See, I think, when you're playing Sri Lanka, I think when Siraj is going to get them all out for 59, I don't think batting really matters. But yeah, I mean,
They'll
jokes
score
aside,
more than 59, bro. They're playing at home. But yeah, continue.
yeah, but bro, I see the thing is it depends on form. You get in KL Rahul, Iyer. I think it's going to be indifferent because I think both has to play anyways because now Hardik Pandya is not there and no Sky in the ODI team anyways, right? So you'll have to end up playing both, maybe KL and Iyer. But see, the thing with the ODI is it's been a while since India played ODI cricket consistently. And going now, we're going to prepare for the Champions Trophy. We'll have to see what happens in that. But if we're going on the basis of that, and by the way, is Hardik dropped or did he drop himself out
He's
of the
there. He's
series?
there in the team. He's there in the team.
He's not there in the this thing.
The ODI
He's not
squad
Yeah,
even in
is
the
ODI
not.
ODI.
team is not there. ODI team is not made it.
Yeah, was it because there were rumors saying that he himself requested to drop out, right? Was it because of that, or he was just not selected for the ODI team?
No, no clue.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll
Let's
have to
let's
see.
let's wait.
By the way, there's no Jadeja also in the ODI squad.
Yeah, that's also there,
Maybe,
but I
maybe.
don't
I
know.
mean, I think I understand because I think it's time to sort of, if your Akhtar is you're going to be your guy, I think for white ball at least it's time to that we move on from
Yeah.
Jadeja. Let him just play red ball. I think that should be okay.
Exactly. I think that maybe is this thing, or maybe I don't know about why Jadeja and Hardik are not there in the ODI, but especially at least going into the Champions Trophy, tournament, I think they would have gone with all the players who you would look forward to playing in the Champions Trophy because it's not that far away, right? It's close by itself in terms of sporting calendar and the amount of time preparation. But see, the thing with the current squad of ODI, I think the batting is very, at least in my opinion, it's very. I think a lot of, again, as I said, this is a lot of number threes, number fours who are there you know till the middle order because you look at the team right now, you have Rohit Gill opening, then you have Kohli one down, then we have the likes of Iyer, KL Rahul coming, and Pant, who's become virtually a number three batsman now. So it's very weird
No,
because
that's
a
only in
lot of
T20 cricket. I have not seen Punt play at three in ODIs ever.
Yeah, and I don't know the last
he
time
used
Pant
no Pant used to
played
play the number
ODI.
three anyways previously also, but he became a lower order batsman for India for the sake of India, right?
No,
From his
but
youth
that's what
level,
I'm saying.
Pant.
For India, he's never batted at three in an ODI. That's what. So he does
No, but I'm
play.
saying since
That's
since
fine.
he's come out back from his injury, he's only played in the top order. He's not played in the middle or bottom order, right?
That is because he's
If
only
you look
played
at
the
it.
T20 World Cup.
Hmm.
Huh, but like still, like that's my point. Like we don't know how Pandit is going to sit and play in the middle order or the lower order when for example you need players who score quick fire runs, and I think we've all been in the thought process of okay, he looks like he's taking more time than he used to be before. He's less aggressive, etc. Now we have a lot of players who are just very slow, in terms of batting. I just think it's more about an imbalance in terms of profiles of batsmen. Because I look at everyone, I feel like everyone are going to be very slow in terms of batting. Maybe Rohit Sharma is the only guy who can go quick fire. Apart from that, you look at I feel like Kohli, Iyer, KL Rahul, if they're coming in the middle overs, all three guys are players who would, I mean, at least KL and Iyer would take a lot of time to start over, like start scoring runs. And in the World Cup, to be fair, it worked out well for India. But when we saw in the finals is where it mattered, and you could see how they struggled scoring runs and losing quick wickets and not having a guy who can withstand and score runs in the middle overs is where India lost the World Cup. And I think if you're going into the World Cup again in the future in the in Champions Trophy in the same so-called profiles, I think I would be more worried about some, at least if you're not having these players, I think Gambhir needs to put in the effort and try to change the mentality of these players in terms of playing style, because I don't see any balance in this team in terms of batting order. For me, it's too one-dimensional. It's too like it's just too bland to an extent. If I look at a team like England in the same ODI squad, you could say, okay, these guys are dangerous. Even if they're 30 overs down the line, if they still have less runs, they can score a lot of runs in the last 20 overs. But if you look at the Indian squad, at least with the names, I don't think I would sit and say, okay, Iyer and KL to finish it can score a lot of runs and very quick fire runs. So I think that middle order has work to do. That's the reason I asked: is Hardik Pandya just injured, or is he? Because there were rumors
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
there was rumors saying he wanted to pull out from the ODI squad or something like that, for personal reasons. So I'm trying to understand if it was because of that or if it was just because he's been dropped for ODI, what it was. Because we need some firepower in the middle, bro. That's one thing I think at least in the future, we'll have to look at. Because if you're having someone like Dubey in the middle order, a guy who has been inconsistent for India and the entire tournament last time, it's going to be very tough for you to get the right balance in terms of batting order.
I think I'm actually fine. Me personally, I'm actually pretty happy with it. The only thing, like Ali said, maybe it's a little bland, and maybe I would like to see somebody like Surya in there.
But do you
Probably
guys
batting at
think
I
Riyan
mean,
Parag
ODI is
deserves to
four.
play for India at the moment?
In ODIs,
He's
in
playing for
T20s,
both.
yeah.
He's playing for
No, I
both though.
might.
He's
Yeah,
there in
white
the
ball.
squad
I
for
mean,
both.
at T20s, yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, it's fine. Like Riyan Parag has done
But
well
he's
enough
there
to.
even in ODI. So like him being in the ODI squad itself shows
He's
that
not in.
maybe
Oh, he's in the ODI squad, but yeah,
he is in the ODI
maybe,
squad.
maybe they want to
him
give him a
and
shot at number
Shivam Dube is
six.
also in the ODI squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It'll be one of the two. I think will bat at six for India. So, or if I don't know if they want to play Riyan Parag at four, try him there or something like that. But it's yeah, I think he deserves it. I think he's done. He's had a good IPL. White ball at least he's fine. I think there's no issues
So
with that
then,
for
so
me.
then, do you think he can come in for the likes of KL Rahul or Shreyas Iyer?
I think KL is actually the best. For a long time, we've not had a good number five, and he's done that weirdly, like in the ODIs. It's the only format I think that it suits KL the best. He's done really well in that position since he's become the India number five. So I don't think he gets displaced. I think if Parag comes in, he comes in as a number six or a number four. It looks to me like he's going to come in as a number six because you're going to have Pant batting at four, according to me. Yeah, so yeah, Rishi. Another interesting thing is Surya not being there in the ODI team. You think would you have liked to see him there?
No, I mean it makes a lot of sense because even in the ODI World Cup, you could see that he was. It was like it looked completely out of place, like Surya and ODIs. Like either he came in where situation needed, where he had to pace his innings. You'd see him getting almost impatient and trying to accelerate things when you needed a little bit more temperament, a little bit more. So it just makes sense that you let a player play his natural sport, a natural format where he is comfortable setting his own tempo rather than trying and shoehorning him into a format that's not ideal for both. See, there might be every odd inning where he might work out, but I feel in the longer run you have when you have options like players who can slow down the game or pick it up only when needed, and according to what the situation needs you can tailor your innings. I feel that is ODI is a format that suits such players rather than someone who's either too moderate or looks to go from the ball one. I feel because when you have openers of Rohit Sharma, when you have enough players who can set up the tempo when needed, like you have Rishabh Pant who can. You saw in the T20 World Cup that he could pace his innings slowly, and although he was trying to switch up the gears, he was not able to. But at the end of the day, he was pretty much pacing his innings in the T20 World Cup also. So I think that's a direction that the team wants to go, and it makes sense also.
Yeah, from a bowling perspective, pretty again straightforward. I think Kuldeep Yadav has made the squad for the ODIs. You got Mohammad Siraj, Arshdeep Singh, Khalil Ahmed, the three quicks. Aksar Patel will give you that left arm orthodox option. You got Wash again for that right arm off spin. So they're all bases covered, and Harshit Rana is that surprise inclusion. Um, he's broken into the squad. But yeah, I don't see him starting this series at least. Maybe he probably gets a game. But I think you'd say Arshdeep Khalil and Mohammad Siraj are your first three sort of seamers, and then Harshit Rana maybe gets a game if India are doing well in this series. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's India's squads, ODI and T20s for the tour of Sri Lanka. It's going to be an interesting tour because the first time we're going to see this Indian side in the flesh of things, probably against a better opponent without Virat and Rohit. They've gone full strength as far as the T20 squad is concerned. I think they're pretty much full strength with their ODI team as well, apart from Jasprit Bumrah, like one or two others. So, going to be fun, going to be interesting. Thanks, guys, for joining. Please like and share the video, subscribe to Sports Khabri, and we'll see you soon.